A couple is getting ready for an intimate moment. Looking at his girlfriend's body, Hal is full of anticipation. But when his girlfriend tosses him an oversized piece of underwear, he feels confused. The size seems way too big. But looking at his girlfriend again, she has a slim figure. What Hal doesn't know is that his eyes have been enchanted by a wise man. From now on, any woman he sees appears beautiful and attractive. A fat woman who looks normal to others appears as a stunning beauty to Hal. This story started a few days earlier. Hal was in an elevator that suddenly broke down. He got trapped with famous life coach Tony. During their conversation, Hal shared a story from his childhood. Before his father died, he told Hal to find a beautiful girlfriend to marry. This would help improve the family's genes. After growing up, Hal often went to bars hoping to meet pretty girls, but he was average looking, and no beautiful women wanted to talk to him. Hal was pretty thick-skinned though. A female neighbor once shared some snacks with him. Because of this, Hal considered her his girlfriend and invited her to his place. The neighbor said she didn't have feelings for Hal and turned him down. Hal didn't get discouraged. He even tried to convince the neighbor that since they were neighbors, having no feelings didn't matter. Love could grow over time. The neighbor was amazed that such an ordinary yet extremely confident man actually existed. Tony finally understood what was happening. This guy wanted to pursue women who were way out of his league. Since he wanted beautiful girls, Tony decided to grant his wish. Tony reached out and cast a spell on Hal. After leaving the elevator, Hal didn't notice anything different. He flagged down a taxi, and a lady happened to be waiting for the same car. Hal thought she was very beautiful, so he politely let her take the taxi. Learning that Hal was going the same direction, the lady invited him to share the ride. In the car, Hal stared at her profile, thinking she was incredibly beautiful. The lady felt a bit shy from his staring. To ease the awkwardness, Hal complimented her on being pretty and having a great figure. The driver was quite surprised, thinking this young man had very unique taste. From then on, Hal's luck with women became amazing. Before, when he went to bars, he was always ignored. Now when he went to bars, girls actively approached him. They were all hot beauties competing to dance with him. However, this was only from Hal's perspective. In his friend's eyes, the scene looked completely different. Tony's spell didn't make Hal more attractive. Instead, it added a filter to his eyes, allowing him to see only women's inner beauty. His friend Maurice pulled Hal aside. Maurice pointed to the girls in the dance area and asked what was going on. Hal looked at the girls and asked what the problem was, saying he was now incredibly charming. The next day on his way to work, Hal saw what he thought was a super beautiful woman. She had fair skin, a pretty face, and great style. Hal followed her to a shopping mall. He saw her picking out oversized underwear and approached her. To the girl, Hal's approach seemed like he was mocking her. She directly ignored him, but Hal didn't mind and still invited the girl to eat burgers. This was the first time someone had sincerely approached her, so the girl agreed. The girl's name was Rosemary. As soon as she arrived at the restaurant, she ordered a meal for 10 people. Hal was confused and asked if she was getting takeout. Rosemary said no, she would eat it all there. With her body type, eating this much was normal. Hal thought she was joking, but the next second, Rosemary's chair suddenly collapsed. Hal went to help Rosemary up. He mysteriously felt a sense of weight, but he didn't think much about it. Instead, he blamed the restaurant for having poor quality chairs. After leaving the restaurant, 2 people mocked Rosemary's body type. Rosemary didn't argue back, but Hal couldn't stand it. He went up and said these people were jealous. Such a beautiful woman was rare, and their girlfriends couldn't compare to Rosemary. This was the first time someone had stood up for her. Rosemary was very moved. The two chatted well and unknowingly walked to Hal's building. Hal invited Rosemary upstairs to sit for a while, but Rosemary refused. She felt it was impossible for anyone to truly like her. She thought Hal was just joking around. Hal was depressed and asked his friend if there was something wrong with him. His friend said yes, there was something wrong with his eyes. Unexpectedly, the next day Rosemary came to his door. She said she had thought about their meeting all night and couldn't forget it. She invited Hal on a date. Hal excitedly agreed. But then Hal encountered a series of strange incidents. Something abnormal happened while drinking bubble tea. While rowing a boat, the boat tilted up like a seesaw. While swimming, Hal said he would perform a cannonball dive. Looking at the small splash, Rosemary dismissively said she would demonstrate. Their relationship developed quickly. Rosemary brought Hal home to meet her parents. As soon as they entered, Hal and Rosemary's father recognized each other. Rosemary's father Steve turned out to be Hal's company boss. In front of Rosemary, her father welcomed Hal, but privately, he questioned Hal's motives. He suspected Hal was pursuing his daughter for money. Hal turned to look at Rosemary and asked what was wrong with her. The boss also looked at his daughter. He told Hal to stop pretending, saying she had been heavy since she was 3 years old. Hal started arguing back. He said appearance wasn't the deciding factor. Inner beauty was true beauty. A kind girl like Rosemary was rare. As a father, he should cherish her instead of putting her down. These words touched the boss. It seemed Hal truly liked Rosemary. However, the boss still thought this young man had very unique taste. That night, Hal brought Rosemary home. looking at Rosemary's perfect figure in his eyes. He was excited, but the oversized underwear Rosemary prepared confused him again. The next day, the boss promoted Hal to assistant manager. Hal now had success in both love and career. His life was going smoothly. He just felt that colleagues and strangers were pointing and whispering about him to be worthy of Rosemary. Hal started working out and losing weight. His good friend Maurice advised him to break up. He said there was something wrong with this relationship. Hal said his friend shouldn't ruin his happiness out of jealousy. Maurice felt Hal wasn't normal. Under questioning, Hal revealed he had met life coach Tony. Tony had cast a spell on him, making his luck with women flourish. Maurice realized something was wrong. After finding Tony, he learned the truth. Tony had added a filter to Hal's eyes to help him discover inner beauty. Hal didn't see all women as beautiful. Only those with beautiful souls appeared beautiful to him. Those who looked good on the outside but were ugly inside actually appeared ugly to Hal. Maurice was angry, saying this deception was wrong. Tony said many people online used filters and beauty apps, and everyone seemed happy about it. Maurice insisted that Tony change Hal back to normal. He threatened to call the police. Tony had no choice but to tell Maurice how to break the spell. That night, Hal and Rosemary were on a date. The restaurant chair collapsed again. When Hal went to complain at the front desk, Maurice called. He recited the spell to break the enchantment. Hal's spell was lifted. He turned around, and the beautiful receptionist had become a big man. Before he could react, he saw a fat woman wearing Rosemary's clothes sitting in Rosemary's seat. Maurice arrived just in time to stop him and explained everything. Hal remembered all the strange incidents during this period and finally believed it. But he was angry and blamed Maurice for making him see clearly. He didn't care about other people's opinions. As long as he thought Rosemary was beautiful, that was enough. Maurice realized he had done a bad thing with good intentions. He prepared to find Tony to cast the spell on Hal again. But during this time, Hal couldn't see Rosemary. Otherwise, casting the spell again would be useless. Hal deliberately avoided Rosemary. One day, his female neighbor invited him to dinner. After learning about Hal's promotion, she was ready to accept his previous pursuit. Rosemary saw this scene. Combined with Hal's coldness over the past few days, she thought Hal didn't love her. She believed he was just using her for his promotion. But she didn't make a scene. She just quietly blessed him and left. Actually, Hal rejected his neighbor. From the neighbor's materialistic behavior, he realized Rosemary was his true love. He believed a person's beauty wasn't just about appearance. Inner beauty was most important. He prepared to call Rosemary and confess everything. He would tell her he would never leave her no matter what. But Rosemary was nearby. Hal didn't recognize her and even asked her to move out of the way. Rosemary ran away heartbroken. When Hal called, she angrily called him a jerk and hung up. She wouldn't answer any more calls. The next day, Hal came to the hospital where Rosemary volunteered, but she didn't show up. Someone greeted Hal. He turned around and saw a little girl with half her face burned. This was actually where Hal and Rosemary had their first date. Back then, when Hal was under the spell, all the children looked cute to him. He hadn't noticed this was a children's burn unit. Hal finally understood how kind Rosemary truly was. He went to Rosemary's house. As soon as he entered, he saw a large woman and went to hug her. Fortunately, Rosemary's mother appeared in time to stop him. It turned out that was the housekeeper. Finally, Hal found Rosemary at a party. Rosemary told him to go away. Hal didn't leave. Instead, he told her about being under a spell and confessed his love again. These words touched Rosemary. Hal finally won true love.